Good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Saraya Mia. Former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad admits that both he and DAP had used each other to topple Datuk Seri Najib Razak in the run-up to the 14th general election. He says the strategic alliance was necessary to secure a two-thirds majority for Pakatan Harapan and to unseat Najib.
When questioned about his decision to work with various parties such as DAP and PAS, Mahathir said defeating Najib had been his priority in the past. Now facing different challenges, he said there was a need to collaborate with PAS due to their shared goals of toppling the current administration. The former Langkawi MP was previously a critic of DAP and PAS during his time with UMNO. He revealed this while speaking on the latest episode of the Keluar Sekejap podcast.
Regional cooperation is needed to boost the economy of the country as well as build economic resilience. Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said Malaysia will highlight the importance of mutual support during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC's leader meeting tomorrow.
When we talk about economy, especially the focusing on digital for Malaysia, especially digital economy, green economy, as well as the halal economy. Important to get major economies on the table for stability, which is important for global growth. So, as you know, APEC operates on the basis of non-binding commitments with decision raised by consensus, as well as commitments undertaken voluntarily. So for Malaysia, we hope that the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting is that all the APEC economies, we have 21 APEC economies, come together to discuss ways on how regional cooperation and economic integration can be strengthened to achieve an open, dynamic, a more resilient economy and a peaceful Asia community by 2040. This is in line with the Putrajaya vision, Putrajaya Vision 2040.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim will lead the Malaysian delegation, which includes Tengku Zafrul, for the 30th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting in San Francisco, California, from November 14th to November 17th.
A Malaysian policeman convicted of the murder of a Mongolian woman walks free from detention in Australia, where he was held for nearly 9 years. Sirul Azhar Umar and another officer, Azilah Hadri, were sentenced to death after found guilty in Malaysia for the murder of 28-year-old Altantuya Sharibu, an interpreter to a former associate of ex-Premier Datuk Seri Najib Razak.
Cyril was arrested on an Interpol notice and has been held in an Australian immigration detention centre since January 2015 after fleeing Malaysia shortly before the verdict. His release comes just days after a landmark ruling by Australia's High Court that outlawed indefinite immigration detention, leading to the release of dozens of asylum seekers. Under Australian law, a person cannot be deported if they face the death penalty. Azilah, Cyril's co-accused, remains on death row in Malaysia. Malaysia Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein confirmed the news of Cyril's release, adding that police will discuss further about the possibility of seeking extradition.
In other news, a Malaysian citizen, Nurul Ain Harun, and her Palestinian husband, Muhammad A.M. Sha'at, have been successfully evacuated from the Gaza conflict area yesterday. The Foreign Ministry says they were safely brought through the Rafah border crossing at 8:23 p.m. local time.
The evacuation followed a meeting between Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi during the former's working visit to Egypt on October 23rd. Further coordination was then made by the Malaysian embassies in Cairo and Amman. Upon the couple's arrival at the Rafah border crossing, Wisma Putra said they were contacted by Anwar and Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Zamri Abdul Kadir to inquire about their well-being. It added that the Malaysian embassy in Cairo was also providing consular assistance to help the couple.
We'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. dozen patients, including 6 premature babies in Gaza's largest hospital complex, Al-Shifa, now under Israeli shelling, had died due to power cut and lack of medical supplies. According to the Palestine Health Ministry, the hospital was damaged seriously in Israeli airstrikes, and most departments have ceased operations. The ministry said some 10,000 people are trapped in Al-Shifa and are not allowed to evacuate as Israeli snipers continue to fire at anyone near the hospital. As of Sunday, 23 of Gaza's 35 hospitals had stopped operation due to fuel depletion. Separately, children were rushed to a hospital in southern Gaza on Monday after Israeli planes bombed houses in Khan Yunis. In one strike, officials said 7 people were killed and several wounded. More than 11,100 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. Meanwhile, after a downward revision, the death toll in Israel stands at over 1,200. The United Nations flew its flags at half-mast at offices across Asia today in memory of colleagues killed in the Palestine-Israel conflict. The world body also observes a minute's silence a day after reporting a significant amount of deaths and injuries from strikes on a facility in Gaza.
The blue and white UN flag was lowered at 9:30 a.m. local time at offices in Bangkok, Thailand, Tokyo, Japan, and Beijing, China. Events were also held in Kathmandu, Nepal, and Kabul, Afghanistan, where the UN Secretary-General's Special Representative for Afghanistan led about 250 people observing the minute's silence. The UN Agency for Supporting Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, announced on Friday that over 100 of its employees had died in the Gaza Strip since the start of the war.
British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has sacked Interior Minister Suella Braverman, one of his most senior ministers, following comments she made about the police handling of a pro-Palestinian march. Braverman last week defied Sunak by publishing an article in The Times attacking the police handling of a demonstration that took place on Saturday. James Cleverly replaces Braverman as Sunak begins a reshuffle of his cabinet.
According to critics, her stance inflamed tensions and encouraged right-wing protesters to take to the streets of London, putting Sunak under pressure to take action. It is the second time she was forced out of the same job title in little more than a year, after Liz Truss ordered her to resign in October 2022 for sending confidential information to an MP from a private email address. Braverman's dismissal is set to form a part of a wider reshuffle of Sunak's team, with Environment Secretary Therese Coffey and Health Secretary Steve Barclay believed to be dropped as well. First elected to Parliament in 2015, Braverman is regarded as being on the right wing of the governing Conservative Party and was a committed Brexit supporter.
With Cleverly confirmed as the new Interior Minister, his vacated foreign portfolio is now filled by former UK Prime Minister David Cameron. Cameron served as British Prime Minister from 2010 to 2016, resigning after the outcome of the Brexit vote, when Britain voted to leave the European Union.
As Prime Minister, Cameron agreed to hold a referendum on Scottish independence in 2014, campaigning successfully against succession as Scots voted by 55 to 45% to stay in the United Kingdom. Aiming to repeat that success, Cameron called a referendum on membership of the European Union in June 2016 to end decades-long arguing in his Conservative Party on the issue. However, Britain voted for Brexit, and he announced he would quit as Prime Minister the following day.
Australia will issue a national apology to all citizens affected by thalidomide, a morning sickness pill linked to birth defects in babies during the 1960s. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the government will also unveil a national memorial site, describing the tragedy as a dark chapter in Australian history.
Albanese said the apology would acknowledge all the infants who died as a result of the drug, as well as those who survived but faced challenges from the drug's effects. The formal national apology would be delivered on November 29th in Parliament. Thalidomide was the active ingredient in a sedative that was widely marketed to many mothers in Australia and around the world. It was found to cause malformation of facial features, limbs, and internal organs in unborn children, and had not been tested on pregnant women before it was approved. More than 10,000 children globally were estimated to have been born with birth defects due to thalidomide use, with an estimated 40% dying within a year. Australia said a total of 146 thalidomide survivors were registered under its Thalidomide Survivor Support Program, but admitted that the exact number of people affected by the drug remain unknown.
Elevate your ride to new heights with Petronas Sprinter Racing formulated with ester, the latest addition to the company's lineup of motorcycle lubricants designed for motorcycles and motorcycle racing, ensuring not only rapid defense but also unparalleled agility. Developed from the relentless pursuit of excellence at Petronas Lubricants International's Global Research and Technology Center in Turin, Italy, this engine oil with Ultra Flex technology is not just about performance, but is also meant to push boundaries.
The new lineup of Petronas Sprinter, featuring the refreshed tagline Your Way, was unveiled recently as Petronas Lubricants International hosted its Asia Trade Dinner in conjunction with the Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia 2023, which took place from 10 to 12 November 2023. Petronas Lubricants Marketing Malaysia PLMM Chief Executive Officer Zamir Zahur Hussain said the product was meticulously crafted to not just meet but surpass exacting standards, empowering racers and performance enthusiasts alike to push the limits of their superbikes.
Okay, basically our collaboration with the Petronas Grand Prix Malaysia team in the past have provided us with a unique opportunity to fine-tune the formulation of Petronas Sprinter Racing. So ensuring it not only caters to diverse demand of superbike, but also offers immediate protection. And Petronas Sprinter Racing formulated with ester stands out from other ranges due to its specialized formulation that gives exceptional performance. And the Sprinter Racing is engineered to respond instantly to the different demand of high-performance racing bike. Irregardless, you're talking about Ducati, BMW, Yamaha, any bike. So this sets us apart by delivering exceptional response and protection to critical engine components, even in the face of extreme temperatures and stresses.
He also said that the new Petronas Sprinter Racing 10W50 is the pinnacle of fully synthetic engine oils, meticulously crafted with an exclusive ester formulation, complemented by cutting-edge Ultra Flex technology.
This Sprinter also encourages bikers to embrace the unexpected, follow their instinct and trust intuition, allowing them to sense, find and embrace what truly resonates with them. So it gives you the freedom to be yourself and make choices not because you are asked to, but because they genuinely speak to your heart. Right? And it is highly recommended to superbike enthusiasts with 500cc and above, and professional riders who seek performance and protection for their superbike, especially those operating under extreme conditions.
Petronas Sprinter Racing 10W50 made its debut in the open market today at Petronas Shop and the official Petronas Shopee page. Product distribution at authorized workshops and Petronas stations all across Malaysia will be done in stages. The recommended retail price RRP is 76 ringgit for West Malaysia and 77 ringgit for East Malaysia.
That report wraps up AWANI tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Saraya Mia and we'll see you again.